Before I get into the video, I want to mention I made an account with Ko-Fi. It's a great way to help support the channel by buying wallpaper for $1 or whatever you feel like paying. I'm also heavily fueled by caffeine, so donating a coffee would be a great way to show love. And you can find a link for all that in the description box. I'll shut up now. There are few things more satisfying to me than a clean and organized desk setup. Obviously for the aesthetic, but also its effectiveness in keeping me productive and focused. I've entered a period of my life recently where I'm working almost exclusively from a computer, so it's important for me to create a work area where I don't mind spending extended periods of time where I feel creative and just genuinely enjoy being at. So today I'm going to do sort of a casual tour of my workspace, why I have it set up the way that I do, as well as some tips for keeping it organized. But first, if you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. Here we talk about minimalism, frugal living, tech, and things of that nature. So if that sounds good to you and you end up liking the video, be sure to like, and please create a compilation video of all the things I've said to do to the subscribe button and then show them on their birthday. Let's get started. The desk. I'll start by going over the desk itself. And this is a standing desk from FlexiSpot that I've had for about a year now. I like FlexiSpot because they have a lot of options as far as customizing your desk. And as you can see, I chose the bamboo top with the white legs. Bamboo's always been my favorite texture and color of wood. I think it matches the aesthetic nicely and looks really good when I get my flat lay B-roll. When I was looking for a high quality desk, I wanted it to be one that I could use for the next 10 years or so. And I genuinely believe this will be that one. And when I was comparing prices, there isn't much of a difference between a really high-end one and just a mediocre one from Amazon. Because unfortunately, I know some people who have pretty shitty desks that weren't that much cheaper than what I have here. So I can't recommend this enough. The majority of the time, I'm sitting down at it, but if I feel myself getting drowsy before I'm actually finished with my work, I switch to standing, and this just like doubles my productivity for some reason. My chair. My desk chair is an extremely affordable, practical, and basic office chair. This thing does not steal the show by any means, and it's not as comfortable as sitting in first class, but at $50, it really gets the job done. This is like the most popular office chair on Amazon, and at this price point and comfort, I can definitely see why. If you just want a no-nonsense, not flashy, affordable, decently comfortable office chair, I recommend this one. It does what I need it to, like lowers and rises, comfortable enough for me to spend a few hours in, and I'll have a link for this in the description box if you're interested. Computer setup. Now for my computer itself, be prepared, it is very underwhelming. I have the base 13-inch MacBook Pro with 0 upgrades. This is where absolutely everything is done from work to video creation, and I've had 0 issues with it. This comes with me to my workplace and whenever I feel like working outside of my desk. When I am at my desk working, paying bills, or planning out my week, I plug my laptop into my monitor, giving me a better workflow. This wallpaper is also available on my Ko-Fi. Link for that's in the description. When I have it set up like this, it's almost exactly like a desktop while still being able to be used like a laptop. My monitor is a 27-inch LG monitor. This is a really good monitor, especially if you're in some sort of creative or design industry because of how accurate the colors are. This is something I really needed for video editing. This monitor makes my life a lot easier for things like Notion and especially editing. I have a cheap wireless Logitech mouse, and it's one of my favorite things I've ever bought. I use it here, and when I do go into the office, it's thrown into my bag. My Magic Keyboard, I actually bought refurbished on Amazon for about half the price. And as you can see, it looks and performs like a brand new one. And that's pretty much everything that powers my actual work output. So next I'll move on to the rest of the things on top of my desk. If you watch my videos for some time, you might notice that some of these things have been here for quite a while and some things I've decluttered. Starting on the left, you might notice my dragon fruit plant, which I pretty much accepted is just a regular succulent with a really cool pot. This is like the lowest maintenance plant ever, and I love it. My salt lamp used to sit right here next to the dragon fruit plant, but I finally decided to give it away. It wasn't really ever getting used. It was taking up a good part of the desk, and I actually needed the outlet it was using. So in its place is my Ember mug coaster, which has to be the best gift I've ever received. The coaster stays on my desk permanently, and I think it looks pretty minimal and sleek. And basically, the Ember mug is a mug that keeps drinks like tea and coffee hot, and can be controlled through the app that lets you create different presets for different drinks and stuff like that. Anyways, I keep the coaster here on my desk so I never have to check or worry about the battery on this thing, because this is where it charges. On the other side of my monitor is my other plant. I'm not really sure what the hell it is, but it's pretty easy to take care of. And I love the way the bright green looks on the bamboo desk. It really just gives it some natural looking aesthetic and complements the bamboo. And by the way, both of these plants are from Trader Joe's, where they actually have a pretty solid selection. I have a tiny wooden figurine named Paul. You know who you are. I do of course have this for the aesthetic, but I find it really fun to get B-roll with and to make stop motion animations with. One of the first jobs I've ever wanted was to write and direct movies. Particularly, I love stop motion movies like Fantastic Mr. Fox. So this sort of serves as a reminder for me to stay creative and inspired. So it does have a lot of meaning for me. Anyways, all the way at the end of my desk is my air purifier. This was pretty affordable on Amazon. It had really good reviews, so I decided to get it like a year ago or so. And aside from its main purpose of purifying air, the really subtle white noise is a nice way to break the silence when I'm in the room working. And it also has a tray where I can add an essential oil if I wanted. Something else that typically sits here on my desk when I'm working is my Orbit key nest. This is where I keep my external hard drive that I edit off of, my AirPods, as well as a couple of other things, like memory cards and a cleaning cloth for my devices. It's a nice addition to my desk because it's a place I can permanently store my drives and memory cards when they're not being used, because frankly, I wouldn't really know where to keep them otherwise. Considering how often I'm needing to bring memory cards and hard drives with me, this is a really nice thing to have to just throw in my bag and go if I had to. It is also a wireless charger on the top, which I never use. It truthfully is a bit on the pricey side. Orbit Key sent this to me a little over a year ago. And just like everything else that I own, I'm pretty rough with my items, and this thing is no different. I will say it has held up a lot, so I suppose you do pay for quality. Anyways, that's pretty much all I currently have going on with my desk setup and my workspace as of right now. My setup does change based on my needs, but I can confidently say this is pretty much always the setup I wanted. A laptop when I need it, and a desktop surrounded by plants when I want it. I hope you could take some inspiration or ideas from my setup, and if not, that's fine. Sometimes just watching these types of videos is generally relaxing, and I get that. And don't forget to check out my Ko-Fi. The link for that's in the description box if you're interested in any wallpapers or supporting the channel in that way. It's greatly appreciated. Anyways, as always, I appreciate the time you spent here, and I appreciate you watching. If you did like this video and you like this type of content, be sure to like and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you next time.